Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it. Why do I feel like such a failure?
What?
If I could answer that question, why do I feel like a failure? I feel like literally doors would open. Do you ever have that feeling?
If you feel like a failure, you feel that doors would open?
No, if I could figure out what makes me feel like a failure and I could just stop doing that, then I feel like doors would open.
Is it imposter syndrome? Because I suffer from that all the time. I always have my whole life. I think we all do to some extent, unless we're slightly psychopathic or sociopathic.
I think that we all feel that. I don't personally call it imposter syndrome. I just feel like a failure. No matter what I do,
Why do
I just
feel
like a failure.
You've done
well, like you said, I think
things.
like you just said, I think we all feel like that.
Yeah.
I just label it as feeling like a failure. You label it as imposter syndrome.
I feel like a failure.
I bet even Jeff Bezos, if you asked him, says he feels like a failure.
I don't think he would admit to that.
Maybe not, but I bet.
I don't know.
Yeah, Jeff also wrote in and said that he does feel like a failure. This just in. He said, Meredith's husband, you're right. You're right. Yes. Yeah. He wrote in right after Jake.
Jake?
Gyllenhaal.
Jake wrote in too?
Yeah. Well, he texted me.
Okay, wait. I thought Connor was the one that reached out.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. Did I mess that up?
No. Yes. Right. It's.
I think that regardless of what you accomplish in your life, I think it's pretty common to feel like you haven't accomplished what you could or what you should or what you want to.
Well, I think that also stems from once you set a goal or once you have either neared it or achieved it, you're then faced with, okay, well, now what? Like all the billionaires are comparing themselves to other billionaires.
Other billionaires, yeah. Yeah, that also. People tend to look upward. Or, as you accomplish more things, you get to enter, let's call it different rooms of success in life. And then you measure yourself against the other people in that room, forgetting that you passed through 10 rooms to get to this one.
At least. And how lucky you are to even be in that room.
Shocking news. I can't help with this question, but I can help you feel better about why you feel like a failure in terms of SEO.
Oh, okay.
Because so many people have this, like I would say 95% of people probably are discouraged by SEO. And
by everything.
For the same reason. It's a pretty common reason why it happens in SEO.
Why?
It's expectations.
Yeah.
People come in with the wrong expectations.
And also, we're trained by society, the whole rags to riches, overnight success, American dream, not being cognizant that things take time.
Yes.
9 months to make a baby.
Yes. But the way that capitalism works is people make money off of promising quicker paths and promising quicker stuff.
Because we all want a magic. My mom even just said, I wish there was a magic pill I could
cram down your throat. It's the wrong impressions, whether you're listening to people who are promising certain things about SEO or just our culture in general, which is all like instantaneous, I want it now type mentality. Yeah. I see people struggle with this with SEO, and it hurts. Like I don't like to see people struggle. And everybody comes to me and they, like I said, 95% of the time they have the same discouragement, or they look back on their efforts in terms of SEO. That's just, you had the wrong expectations.
And where are they getting these expectations?
Well, some of it is my industry. Yeah. Like some of it is like SEOs in general. I feel like we tend to try to pretend like we have secrets, like big, we can share this secret.
Everybody thinks.
Yeah. And also it's just, if you're not informed, if you don't listen to this podcast, it's very common to do something and you're going to go look at rankings and you're going to think, oh, that didn't work or that did work. You're guaranteed to feel like a failure if that's what you're doing.
And it's the same thing again. I know I always say this, but it's like if you look at the scale or a mirror daily, even though you changed your diet for the better, you're working out, you're not going to see immediate progress, but you are working towards being more healthy.
And I would go farther and say you're even looking at the wrong scale.
Right.
Like you're looking at like the tip of the iceberg and figuring there's the tip of the iceberg, and you don't even notice that you're looking at the wrong tip of the iceberg. There's a bigger tip on the, like right behind you, and it's all the same iceberg.
Yeah.
But so you're not even looking at the right thing. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
If I may enter a alternative visual, that you may be looking at how your clothes fit rather at your blood pressure, your internal numbers that are increasing that we can't see.
That's a good one.
Hey,
thank you, Meredith.
Welcome.
I like to think of it as what I have called on this podcast many times, brick house SEO.
Gosh,
you're building a brick house. I know.
Yeah.
You're building a brick house, and inevitably you put 10 bricks down and you go back and you say, wow, I want to see what my house looks like. Wait, it doesn't look like a house at all. It looks like just some bricks.
A line of bricks.
But you got to realize that at some point it is going to be a house. It's just going to take many bricks, and there's not one single brick that is going to instantly, magically make it a house. It's the fact that the bricks all rest on top of each other. But yeah, looking at rankings, you are literally holding yourself up to an impossible measurement. You're never going to feel like you're winning. Even if you do, even if by some chance you catapult to page 1, if that happens super quickly, you know what's going to happen? It's going to disappear super fast. I see that happen over and over and over and over.
And over.
More so in the past, but it still happens. In fact, I used to have I had one client in particular who I remember pretty well say pretty much the same thing every month. It's like, oh, this other client is there all the time, or not client. This other website is on the top of Google all the time. I just need to do what they do. I just want to, what are they doing right that I'm not doing? And they said the same thing month after month, and they didn't even notice that the website that they were pointing to changed. Like the website that they were saying, these guys are at the top all the time, they disappeared. They literally fell off the face of the earth and couldn't be found anymore. They might have gone out of business. I don't know. They totally disappeared. And my client was still, the website that took their place and then was number 1. They're like, these guys are there all the time. And I'm like, wait, no, they're not. These guys are brand new. You don't want to do what that company was doing because they're gone now.
Yeah.
They lost.
Yeah. What you do want to do.
Brick house.
Bricked house.
So the number one way you can stop feeling like a failure in terms of SEO is stop looking at Google, because you're only going to see the people at the top at that particular moment. You're going to compare yourself to the people on top at that particular moment. You don't see the other 1,000 websites that are not on top.
Or on page or anywhere near page 1.
There are a whole bunch of websites on page 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 20. 582.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Number 1, don't do that.
Yeah.
Number 2, look at what you've done already.
Right.
And think of it in terms of building your own brick house. You are, need I remind you, listening to a podcast about SEO.
Yeah.
I can tell you for a fact that most people on average, are not listening to this podcast. So you have a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
So the next time you go to a cocktail party, and people start talking about SEO.
Because it is the hot topic.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go.
Once booze starts flowing, straight to SEO.
SEO starts emanating from tongues.
And so when people start talking, oh, you should do for SEO, you should do this, you should do this. I heard this thing, you should do this. You can either inform them, oh, you need to listen to Meredith's husband, which I hope you do.
Well, of course. You just show me your tattoo.
Or you can also just smile to yourself and think, wow, I'm way ahead of these people. I actually know what SEO is really about.
And I actually know the time involved. Because if it came easy, it wouldn't be worth it.
Anyway, my point, I actually had no point. Never mind.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, yes, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.